Hi guys, I'm Chris Ord from Chris Ord Photography. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what's in my camera bag, whether I'm shooting out on location, fashion work, wedding, or even in the studio. Now my weapon of choice, my camera of choice if you rather, is a Canon 5D3. Now I've used this probably for about 2.5, 3 years now. It's an absolute workhorse of a camera. It just keeps going and going and going. Now one of the main things I love about this camera is the size. I've got really big hands, so I needed something quite substantial. I felt like I could hold on to it. It wasn't going to, it's not too small and too clumsy for getting to buttons and getting the settings on there. So I added the camera grip on the bottom there, so it means when I'm shooting portrait format or shooting landscape format, I've got exactly the same bridge. The buttons are in exactly the same place. And I've used this enough now. It's just an extension of me, whether it be changing focusing points for individual shots, changing the aperture, or the shutter speed. It's now just a fluid motion because I've used it that many times now. Now you can see attached there is my trusty 50mm. Now when I tell people I shoot on a 50mm, for 99% of the work I do, they don't believe me. They say, surely you must need something longer, surely you must need something wider. But in fact, with my weddings, the only other lens I use in a wedding is a wide angle lens for the group shots. Everything else I shoot is taken on a 50mm, whether that's a ceremony shot or whether that's portraits of the couple. Now this is the 1.4 version. I always say to people, I'm a big advocate for not spending money on kit that you don't need to spend on kit. I love this 1.4, and until I feel like this doesn't do the job I need it to do, I will never upgrade to the L series 1.2. I just don't see the point in spending that much money, spending upwards of £1,000 on a lens when this one does the job I want it to do for about, I think you can pick them up for about £250 now. Now when I'm shooting in the studio, I tend to use a 70-200, it's just the f4 version. Again, I've never felt the need to upgrade to a 2.8 version, although now I'm starting to shoot a lot more high-speed sync in the studio and on location with models. It might be something I look to do so I can get those slightly shallow apertures. But again, it's a very lightweight lens. It does the job great. Now, most of the headshots I shoot in the studio over my headshot area are shot with this lens because it's a good length. It means I can still talk to the model while maintaining a good working distance there too. Now moving on to lighting, I'm not going to go on about this one too much. You can see I've done a full review on the video here. If you'd like to find out a bit more about this Pixel Pro City 600 light, do visit that link. I've got a full review, there's some behind the scenes there too, but I didn't want to talk about too much in this video. Basically this light has replaced all my other lighting equipment, even speed lights when I'm working on location. Because I can shoot high speed sync, I can shoot up to 600 watts on this, and then step that down to 256 power. It gives me a massive range with the BMS fit on there too. All my soft boxes and my easy open octa boxes fit straight onto this, and now because they're so compact, it's battery operated, there's no wires, it's very easy for me to carry that around and use on location. Again, whether that be a wedding, whether that be a fashion shoot, or even in the studio, moving between sets, it means I can move that around very easily. Now I learned off camera lighting using speed lights. Now you can see here that's a Yongnuo 563, so you can pick these speed lights up for 50-60 quid, but I learned all of my techniques in off-camera flash with 20 and 30 pound flashes. My feeling was that if I could go and spend £100 and get 2 or 3 flashes, it gives me an array of effects I can achieve with multiple lighting setups without spending a fortune. If I can master this art and using speed lights, that's when I can move on to this sort of lighting, and that's what I did, and that's one of the things I teach on my workshops, certainly on the outdoor flash workshops, where you don't need expensive equipment to achieve fantastic results. Now the trigger system I use for my speed lights are the pop-uppers are +2s. The +3s are available. I prefer the +2s because I've got a load of them. I use them in the studio. They're very reliable and they do the job. Very simple. Now guys, that's it. Whether I'm shooting a wedding or working on location, that's pretty much all the gear I carry with me. As I've said a few times already, I'm a big advocate. You don't need to spend a lot of money on equipment to make it work for you. Spend money, get the lens you can afford, get the camera you can afford, learn to master it, learn your skill, before you go and invest thousands of pounds on lenses that you won't need. I've seen it time and time again, whether I've been attending workshops or I've been running workshops, seeing people come with thousands of pounds worth of lenses and they don't know when to use them or how to use them. Now with this equipment, I'm not saying this is the right way to do it or the wrong way to do it. This is what works for me personally, and having those few lenses in my arsenal means I can work in a really effective way that my clients love. So guys, thanks for watching. I'll be uploading a lot more videos over the next couple of weeks with tutorials, gear reviews, and behind the scenes footage from shoots too. So have a great day. Thanks guys.